The US is dipping into their emergency reserve stockpile for medicine. There are massive medicine shortages all across the country, and this is starting to look a lot like things did a couple years ago. And just recently, there were actually simulations run on a new contagion that could spread and affect children. And right now, there is a massive RSV outbreak. That's why this stockpile, this emergency reserve stockpile, is being released right now because there are shortages of flu medicine, ibuprofen, all this stuff for children to bring their fever down. My son, right now, 3.5 years old, is extremely sick. We believe it's potentially this RSV that is going around. Very red eyes in both eyes, very congested, lots of coughing, sneezing, difficulty breathing. Okay. And I'm not sick at all. My wife's not sick either. It's just affecting him. So this is something that has been simulated as well. Contagions that go around and affect children and are severely deadly to children and leave survivors uh, debilitated and even paralyzed. This simulation that was just recently run by the Gates Foundation. So we will get into all this stuff, but let's dive into what's happening exactly with this medicine shortage. Okay, so they're saying as the flu rages, the U.S. releases medicine from the national stockpile. This is coming out of CNBC and out of NPR radio. It says surges in COVID 19, the flu and other respiratory illnesses are forcing the U.S. government to do something it normally reserves for emergencies: release hordes of stockpiled Tamiflu to states in dire need of more flu medicine. The move from the Department of the Health and Human Services on Wednesday came via the Strategic National Stockpile, which allows the government to tap its reserves of medicine and other medical supplies when a mass outbreak or other health crisis occurs. So this stockpile is exclusively reserved for health crisis, and we are tapping into it. This is starting to look familiar, and we are also seeing that, or they are also reporting that these warehouses are all across the country. This is a network of warehouses, and they're saying that each warehouse is the size of several Walmart supercenters. All right, a network of warehouses the size of several Walmart supercenters located in top secret locations across the country. And while much about the stockpile remains a secret, it continues to play a vital role in the situation. Here's what we know about the multi-billion-dollar inventory of vaccines, equipment, and other medical supplies designated to help save lives. So they go into all the different things that are in the stockpile. But the main thing that is happening is that they are releasing medication due to shortages because even CVS and Walgreens are limiting medicine right now. All right, there are lots of medicine shortages on ibuprofen and acetaminophen for children, especially. And I have noticed this too in local stores that there are shortages when you go to look for ibuprofen, acetaminophen in liquid form for children. It's not there. Okay, and I'm thankful that I already had a stockpile of this for my children. We already had multiple boxes of this because I've known that this shortage has been going on for a while, but now it's getting to the point where they're having to release it from the national stockpile. Okay, and we will get into all this other stuff too. This simulation that was run that could affect children as well. We will get into the simulation in just a second. But they're saying due to increased demand and various supplier challenges, over-the-counter pediatric fever reducing products are seeing are constrained across the country. In an effort to help support availability and avoid excess purchases, we put into effect an online-only purchase limit of 6 per online transaction for all over-the-counter pediatric fever reducers, Walgreens said in a statement. CVS also put a limit of 2 children's pain relievers per purchase. Okay, so this, like, why are we having these rationing and this shortages of critical medicine? I just don't understand what's going on. Is it the supply chain? Is it been the past 2 years of the supply chain being disrupted because all of our medicines are made overseas? Or is this a real surge and there's just so much? Because I've been noticing this for 6 months at least, shortages of children's medicine. I even made a video about it months ago, but now we are getting to emergency levels where the stockpiles, the national stockpiles, need to be accessed. Is this a real surge and are children being affected by this and they're just buying it more? Or is this a supply chain problem and there's just not enough to go around? Or is it both? And it's a double whammy hitting us. And here is the simulation that was run. It's the severe epidemic and enterovirus respiratory syndrome 2025, the SEERS 2025 simulation. It's called catastrophic contagion. Okay, and this is a fictional scenario, a fictional simulation. You can see down there, it's technically a fictional simulation, and this was run by the Gates Foundation. It says catastrophic contagion simulated a series of WHO emergency health advisories advisory board meetings addressing a pandemic set in the near future of 2025 called the SEERS 2025 Severe Epic Respiratory Syndrome from Enterovirus 2025. The epidemic begins in 2 Latin American countries and spreads rapidly, quote, becoming a pandemic, then a higher fatality rate than you know what, and disproportionately affecting children and young people. So before we had it affecting older people, now young people are being affected by this, and we're seeing this right now. This is affecting children's medicine. My son is extremely sick. I've never seen my son this sick before, and his eyes are bloodshot red, hacking, coughing. It's bad. All right, we're worried about him. Thankfully, my wife is on top of it, taking care of him. He has good care, but at the same time, it's one of these things. This simulation, the virus was targeting children. It said it's disproportionately affecting children and young people. In this simulation, 1 billion cases are reached worldwide and 20 million people perish, with 15 million of those being children. So they're saying this is going to affect children, the next one that they are preparing for in this simulation that was run by the Gates Foundation. And it said those who are left alive would suffer from brain damage and paralysis. So this is some new virus that they're preparing for, okay? And it's a severe epidemic respiratory syndrome virus. So it's a respiratory syndrome, affects your coughing, breathing, very similar to RSV. Lots of coughing, hacking, breathing issues. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about this. What's going on? Is this a replay? Are things happening again? It could be, it could not be, or is this just a spike? Is this just a bad season for the flu and for RSV, and we just have a bad outbreak right now, and people's immune systems are a little low right now for some reason? Maybe that's what it is, but I don't know. My kid normally never gets sick, and he's extremely sick from this. And I'm not sick at all. My wife isn't sick. So it's one of these things that's only affecting the kids. My daughter was a little bit sick too, and my toddler boy is extremely sick, not affecting the adults. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that sub and that bell if you want to get notified for my videos. And make sure you guys have a big old blessed day. Thanks, guys.